Hey, internet entrepreneur, welcome to this week's episode of 3 Stories where we talk about hot tips about increasing your repeat purchase rate. This is for you, the entrepreneur who cares about customers. You want to make them successful and happy, and you're not just here to hack your way around closing sales. This is for you, a business operator who know your customer acquisition costs. You have a predictable marketing channel. You know the efforts required. You know what it takes to generate more and more customers. At this great point in the business, you're shifting your focus more towards customer loyalty. You want to increase your repeat purchase rate, making the most out of your existing happy relationships. Stay alert because in the end you will get 3 actionable tips. My name is Alan from NorthStories.io, and we do this every week here. And today we are discussing 3 stories about customer relationship management. Let's start with story number 1. How to craft the perfect post-purchase follow-up sequence. And thank you so much to Trent Vu for these 4 tips. You probably love marketing automation like I do. It's super nice to visualize the entire marketing funnel and then design an email marketing campaign and then come up with automation triggers that will send emails based on customer activities and schedules. Let us talk about that moment when you need to fulfill your promise to a customer. Let us talk about that moment right after their purchase. Let us go through Trent's suggestions. Number 1, you want to confirm their order for sure, right? You want to give them that juicy feedback that you received their dollars and their order is on the way. Number 2, you want to educate them on how to enjoy and use and be successful with the product. 3, you want to review. You want to get your customers to review your product by sending them a notification requesting it. Finally, you want to remind them to replenish and get a refill from you. Maybe you're selling a recurring subscription or a one-time or two-time purchase and you want them to buy more. These are super great tips because I personally need to create a more systematic way to follow up with every customer. You want to be more organized about this. You want to ask for reviews, repeat purchase, and more. By setting up an automation like this, every customer will get the same treatment in the same sequence based on what you designed and what you thought is best for everyone after their purchase. Your 5-minute tip is right here. This is super actionable. You can get started after watching this video. And that is to draw your post-purchase follow-up sequence, your existing sequence. What does it look like right now? Say, after sending the product, are you sending them education on how to be successful with it? Do you ask for feedback and reviews after sufficient time, let's say a week after trying out your product, or even 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes to be successful? After mapping your current follow-up sequence, we will be in the position to improve it. Story number 2. How billion-dollar companies think differently about customer relationships, and why you want to increase your customer lifetime value. Thank you so much, Daniel Marlin, for these tips. Let us talk about digital marketers' advice on spending on customer acquisition. They always say that whoever spends the most on acquisition wins the game. Why? It is about getting your foot in the door, right? At this stage in your business, let's say that you know how to acquire a customer. There are great things coming. You want to invest in relationships where you can expect great returns. So after you get your foot in the door, you want to plant seeds that will grow later. Daniel's tips remind us on how billion-dollar companies think about customer relationships in a different way. Let's say that a customer's first purchase does not mean so much profit for you. Maybe it's even at a loss, right? That's not the entire story. Their first purchase is not everything. How many repeat purchases are you expecting? What are the margins if a customer stays with you for 3 years or 4 years or even just 6 months? Let's say, for example, you sell a logo design service, and then later you upsell to building their company website, and then later you create their e-commerce portal, right? You might not have earned much from the logo service, but look at the entire package. Looking at the entire customer lifetime, we can justify higher customer acquisition costs. If you're playing the long game, whether that's just thinking about what a 6-month relationship looks like or a 2-year customer lifetime, the first purchase does not tell the entire story. To make your acquisition reasonable, you want to optimize for making customers so happy that they will keep on coming back to you. Your 5-minute tip for taking this forward is to calculate your most recent customer's lifetime value. You want to see the trends. For example, you acquired a customer today or last Tuesday. Based on how it has been, how long do you think would this new customer stay based on the trends? Throughout a customer's lifetime, let's say they're going to stay with you for 2 years, how much will you earn? By understanding your customer lifetime value expectation, you can allocate the right marketing budget. Story number 3. Customer acquisition is customer retention, or you are doing it wrong. This is a powerful story by Jay Westenberg. This really moved me when I went through a quote. It reminded me of books that I never read, or apps that I barely used, or clothes that I wore just once. We have to acquire actual customers, right? Not just hacking sales here and there. What do I mean? For a while, you can get away with hacking sales, closing single purchase relationships. Let's say that you have great video sales letters or things that inspire a single purchase, whether it's $4 or $299. As a passionate entrepreneur, I know that your real motive here is to make your customer successful and happy. You don't just want to get so good at tricking people into buying ones, and then they're gonna realize that, oh, that $299 product did not really work well for me despite the great marketing materials. When we design our products and customer acquisition flows, we need to look at the user's success. Your 5-minute tip for taking this forward is to brainstorm the milestone for your customer's success. This piece by Jay Westenberg reminds us of waiting until a certain time to say that you have truly acquired a successful customer. If they buy again next month, that is a good sign for you. If they keep on actively using your product for a year, that is a great sign for you. For your product, you want to identify the signs of success and happiness. How long does it take? What does it take? So, if you're, for example, helping your customers to launch a successful webinar, you want to monitor if they'll get enough success so they would go back to run a second or third webinar, not just a one-time big time and it didn't work the first time. If you're helping people to lose weight, you want to see if their progress in 3 months produce enough evidence that they should be coming back to your program. There you have it, folks. Let us do a recap of the 3 5-minute tips. Number 1, you want to draw your post-purchase follow-up sequence and see if there are any gaps. 2, you want to calculate your most recent customer's lifetime value. You want to know the trend of how much a customer would usually spend with you the entire time of their tenure as customers. And finally, you want to brainstorm the milestone for your customer's success so you can say that they have spent enough time with you to see that your product is truly effective. Choose one that you will practice today, and please pledge your commitment. Tweet it to me at Alan Kaig on Twitter. And this has been Alan on NorthStories.io, and keep up over here. Catch you next week.